those come from the sciences background, engineering, because we want to accept people of all discipline to come and join into doing qualitative research. Okay, so next, these are the very important part in doing data analysis. That's why I have been emphasized that data analysis has to come together with data collection, because this is where you're able to collect and collect and do reduction, and that's where your data is really fine. Your data will be very, very focused. Yeah, so I would put it as like interactive process of data analysis. You collect data, you're able to display, you do reflection, you do coding, you do data distillation or reduction, and come up with themes. The themes able to be emerged when you start to have your pattern of your data. Yeah, and then goes your story interpretation or your interpretation. So I have put on my left side iterative and simultaneous. So there's no such thing of data collection, go 3 months, come back and do your analysis. If you happen to do that, you sometimes you come to a stage that there are some questions that you face that maybe there's a lack of information. Then you go back to your respondent if you have the opportunity to go back. If you are here, you study here, and you are from somewhere in the world, other parts of the world, and it's not easy. Or maybe kita tak tahu your respondent tu mati misal kata, and it is a very important respondent. Contohnya macam orang daripada nursing. I know my friend, numbers of my friend from nursing discipline, dia buat kajian on end of death, EOD, iaitu end of death. Jadi dia buat kajian kepada pesakit-pesakit dia yang menunggu kematian. Of course, dia masa dia boleh di-observe dan sebagainya. If it happen, it cannot be retraced, track back the information because you don't have the exact sample and so forth. So it has to be iterative and simultaneous. That is very important. So those have done mistake before, okay, make sure you have to equip yourself. When I said last week, the data collection, not only physically fit, mentally fit, emotional fit, device and facility fit. Maknanya, once you decide this is the time that I'm going to go to my field work, that's the time that you have to do two heavy things at this point. You do data collection, go back from your ground, from your field, and do your short notes, extended note, memoir, and start to write, and go back again whereby there's a loops or the gaps that you need to search for them. So that is very important. Of course, I have been referring today, 1993, qualitative analysis more like connecting, describing, classifying. This is very important. And again, I put forward they who has come up with this spiral. It's just like doing action research. If you refer to chemist McTaggart, Robinson, and many more, this is something like to do like action research, meaning data will keep on improving, keep on adding, because you have to describe, you have to classify, you have to connect at the end. Account the issues that you have been tackling. So meaning to say, it actually goes what we say as go and forth. Maknanya you go backward. At the end of the day, your data will be rich. So itu yang saya sebut in the very earlier of my presentation. One of the nature of qualitative data or research, it has to be rich and thick. How do you get to have the rich and thick? Of course, from your informant or respondent who are very purposive sampling, who are very purposive selected. So it able to give you the laborious data, then it will give you reach and take data. Without that criteria, you will be having half-baked result. Yeah, when half-baked result appears, you cannot, you aren't able to discuss, you aren't able to argue. Yeah, but tu bila saya sebut tentang GERTS, the very early day of my presentation, I mentioned the name of GERTS, GERTZ. Yeah, GERTS, who has been an ethnographer who study about Balinese people who love to do cockfighting, ayam laga. He was an ethnographer, so he is full participant. Kita ni kalau tak case study, kita ni bukan full participation, we are non-participant observation, but GERTS are full participant observer, whereby he stays there for many months and a year to really observe and understanding and to be part of the society. So he able to translate the activities of Balinese into his writing, and it was back in 1970s. So until today, if you refer to GERTS has given a very substantial information about how he has been doing the observation and data collection. Okay, data collection, there's 4 procedure. As I refer to text 1990, it occurs simultaneously and iterative, not only by day, but go back to Crashwell. These are people that I always refer, Miles and Huberman, and Bogdan, and many way. Yeah, and again, it has to be reduced and interpret. These are the common practices if you really want to be a pure qualitative researcher. Yeah, then this is it is as referred this by Marshall and Rosman. I like to read Marshall and Rosman because these two scholar has really emphasized on to doing data analysis. Please, those who are still young, you are still early in this research, read all this. Yeah. My take, maybe Prof Suzana, those Prof Khadijah who has been kita jadi Viva assessor, atau kita sendiri mengalami, we have not come through a very critical time when we presented our Viva Voje. I remember mine is just like about 15 to 30 minutes. Why? This is a very strong part of your research when you present your Viva Voje. And this is my advice. Yeah? Every single statement, and when you presented your methodology part, please contextualize, please localize all this name, all these scholars' name. Whenever I say, okay, data has been data that been collected from purposive sampling based siapa kata. Data has been analyzed using this procedure mentioned by Huberman. Okay, data has been collected according to Yin in the case study. So every single line that you presented to your assessor or your evaluators or your Viva panel, please, this is the trick of when you do your presentation. Other than other parts tu penting tadi, tapi dalam methodology, this is something that I would like to share. So saya kalau I evaluate atau assess any student PhD, this part memang saya suka because this is the place where we able to know our the candidates, the PhD candidate during the Viva Voje, whether they do the data during the data collection, during data analysis and data display and data integration correctly. So without this strong methodology skills, I'm not very favor on that. I will dig and I wanted to know how well you have done your data collection through this methodology, how well you have done your data analysis during your study. Kadang-kadang kalau kita nak congkil, kalau kita we able to dig, we able to know the experience done, the experience that this Viva Voje student when they do their study. So this is the tips that I would like to share. Maknanya bila you present waktu Viva, tak apa, every single line that you have phrase, you can you can contextualize who you refer to. Yeah, all right. And number 3, you can present your data in many form. Of course, as saya dah kata tadi, by Miles and Huberman, and the way you presented janganlah semua infographic, but you need to have your interpretation about the matrices that you need, especially where you wanted to inform that you have been collecting data through 3 techniques. Contohnya, you ada interview, you have data observation, you have data document. So you wanted to say that triangulation has taken place to ensure the validity and reliability of the data. So meaning to say you can put up a data display in form of matrices. Ke dalam matrices tu you boleh letak types of data collection atau techniques of data collection, and you can put aside a sidebar tu kita tulis respondent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so forth. So meaning to say you have safe space, you have given to your reader and your assessor that you have done triangulation, and of course they can see how you have strategically inform your reader that this has been done thoroughly. And inform nanti kalau kita tengok juga, kalau dia tanya what is your evidence, you kata dalam appendix atau dalam you punya lampiran, you can so-called do the appendices like the snapshot from your en vivo or atlas TI and so forth. Yeah. Next, okay, categorization and themes. This is very important. When you start to have your themes or category, category, betul tak ejan category ni? Categorize. Okay, right. Constant comparative content analysis. Usually, this is done when you do your grounded study, grounded research. Grounded study. Basically, I have done one saja, grounded theory, grounded study, whereby you come with zero knowledge, but you wanted to further understanding about the issues, because it has to be something like trigger you, and then you come out with you have selected the sampling, you have selected your respondent, and it actually a snowball type. Maknanya you have respondent 1, and then you compare the next respondent and compare the next, and then it actually snowball, and as it goes, the constant comparative method applies to get the full rich data nanti. Kemudian themes generated from the literature review, betul, ya. Ini yang selalu kita gunakan. This is common. Maknanya when you conceptualize your statement of problem, you're able to drive into objective, and you're able to, from objective, you're able to drive your research question. And on top of that, you're able to identify your construct. Where do your construct comes from? Remember? When I show the triangle itu, iaitu you have theories, you have model, maybe you have formula, you have concept. Conceptualize the common principle from those theory models or formulas, whatever. Similar principles and able to develop the construct. For example, yang saya cerita dulu ialah berkaitan dengan online learning among student at higher education during the MCO. So I have, let's say I guna teori Vygotsky. So similarly, Vygotsky dia adalah kata buat reflection, prior knowledge and so forth. Kemudian saya gunakanlah model. Saya gunakan satu model, model curve misalnya kata. So dia pun ada kata reflection, past knowledge, and then this similar principle you able to construct. You're able to conceptualize and able to develop your own construct. This construct actually, during your theoretical framework, that drive into protocol when you do your collection of data, and when you start to do your categorizing of data, you're able to connect back the construct, and that construct will become categories and themes. So it will be like something like parallel. The construct become protocol, the protocol become themes of categories in your data analysis. So nampak tak dia punya the sequences happening. Then of course theme embedded in instrument question. Instrument question tu ialah protocols, research question, of course, and combinations of any of above. Okay. Next, okay. I'm sure many of you here has used a lot of any kind of computers. Certain people call it as cardas. I prefer it computers. Actually kita ada society. I happen to be in this part of society where dalam Asia Timur, East Asia. I've been going around. We have been going around East Asia. For example, we have been to Macau, we have been to Hong Kong, we have been to many parts of East Asia, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, and many more. So there are numbers of CAQDAS. CAQDAS representing the acronym of Computer Aided Qualitative Data Analysis Software. Kalau siapa pernah baru dengar kali ni pertama, CAQDAS is actually the software, data analysis software, but actually like I'm very prone of NVivo. I have been with NVivo for many years, since new days until now, and also I was being appointed as Asia Pacific consultant for NVivo in Malaysia area. I've been doing this NVivo training up to India, up to Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, Singapore. Basically to India lah, because kita ada affiliation dengan the Statworld has affiliation with the Indian counterparts. So like CAQDAS is so much easier. Even now dah ada pula transcriber. The modern masa zaman saya dulu kita transcribe sendiri. We use the old type of tape tu masuk dalam NVivo, we transcribe and so forth. So now work become very easy. Because I saw when my daughter been doing the work for Petronas, dia dapat consultation from Petronas, I saw it was very much easier, because once you have your data during your collection during the day, malam tu balik or after you came back from your fieldwork, you just insert your data into NVivo and you start to do your data reading. And of course, when you do your data reading, you start to reduce. You have to use data reduction, and you're able to come out with the what are the issue that you have discovered at that particular day. Then of course with that amount of data you have gathered from your data collection and data analysis, you go back to your fieldwork. That's why I said go and forth. There is an iterative process, and it was being very simultaneous. So from the data you have gotten yesterday, and the next trip you went for the next round, you have collected amount of data, and you need to verify your data with your respondent. So this is what happening, and that's why saya kata masa saya cerita tentang data collection last 2 week, you have to really prepare yourself well. Janganlah pergi situ nanti ada problem, ada masalah. When you go to fieldwork, meaning you are free from any problem and constraint. Okay, coding process, read data, okay, and then divide into segment. Of course, kalau PhD ni saya rasa 1,000. Siapa ada tak yang tengah buat PhD sekarang, tengah buat data collection? Anyone here? Kan you tak tapi sebenarnya memang huge data is so humongous, but hopefully data humongous tu tidak masuk ke dalam page lah. Okay, kemudian of course start your coding macam dalam software, dalam like NVivo, you able to do your reading there, and then dia ada satu part panggil memoir. Dalam memoir tu you boleh masukkan, because memoir dan juga anecdote, dia anecdote dalam bawah part tu, actually that is your reflection, because you boleh ambil reflection tu masuk dalam memoir, itu dia ada section dia. So you start to do your reading, you start to reduce your data, you start to reread, and then you start to write, and reductions happening. So reducing your data, kalau data tu memang banyak yang boleh menjawab soalan kajian, that will be very good. If you find that your data is actually derailed from your research question or your objective, you need to amend. Actually, sometimes kita duduk kita when we go to the ground, sometimes we are actually being carried away with the situation. Contohnya Prof Khadijah kan, bila kita tengok macam Prof Khadijah lah, tiba-tiba dalam lapangan Suria, boleh tak kita buat soalan dia? I kata no, we cannot change. I kata Prof Khadijah, sebab kita jumpa. Okay, tapi there are some beauty part of the data. It's Prof Khadijah. Want to share anything?
No.
Bila sampai mua, dapat cerita kat mua, tambah soalan. Pergi sampai kulai, tengok soalan, tengok data, tambah soalan. Not tambah soalan, but this is not tambah soalan. It is about like emerging data. Kita tak sangka when we prepared our data, our research question, we prepare our protocols, is good enough. Tetapi when we go to the ground, there are some emerging data which is very, very clear, very significant that you need to take the data. But it is confined within your research question. Contohnya masa you pergi Kulai, Prof Khadijah, Kulai ke Pasir Gudang? Or you pergi mana? Pengarah. When we found something that which is something that is very, very important that you need to share to get more information. Okay, that is a sub of your protocol. Yes, because when you do the reporting, you're able to highlight the significant scenarios that happen in the ground. Tetapi dia mesti pattern, mesti berpola. Kalau dia sekali jumpa tak dianggap sebagai satu pola atau pattern, ya. And at the end of the day, at the end of your research, after you go forth and you do the iterative process, at the end of it, you're able to come up with a strong themes that you have reduced from many themes before. So sebenarnya kadang-kadang from your construct to, let's say you ada 10 construct, tetapi when it comes into your categorizing into themes, at the end you're able to regroup. That's why the beauty of NVivo saya suka sangat ialah dia boleh able to regroup. Bukan dia buat, tapi kita yang assign dia what to do and how to do. So maybe one day I'll do the NVivo analysis lah depan ni, but I need to study back, alright. So that is the process. Kalau ada siapa soalan di sini, anyone? Any question? If you want to question, please stop me, okay? Next, descriptions of data analysis, metric example. So stage 1, data collection, display reflection. Stage 2, data coding and distillation. Distillation memang reduction. Then you're able to do your generations of your key themes. Stage 4, story report and conclusion. So this is some kita kata formatting lah, but the formatting is more rigorous when you do it yourself. I know, masa ni lah paling mencabar. It's a very challenging and very, very tough when we do our fieldwork. Kalau kita kata tough masa buat literature review, kita dengan buku saja, we are facing the humongous of buku atau artikel. I know Refa, my student right now, she's in first stage. She has been sending to me. Refa, are you here, Refa? From Medan? Refa, raise your hand. Refa, you are here? Okay. She has been sending to me lots of articles. Tetapi itu kita punya challenge ialah to find more articles which are suitable to design our literature review. But during your fieldwork, challenges are so different. Yes, Refa. Do you find very challenging now doing your literature review? Refa?
Yes, Prof.
Refa, sangat challenging tak buat literature review?
Yeah.
What's what do you mean? Sangat challenging, sebab selalu saya kata baca lagi, betul tak? Refa, baca lagi, betul tak?
Yes, Prof.
But I know you are so amazing. You have been doing a lot of reading, good. But you have to really focus. Is your reading, your material, your article that you have gotten suitable or not to your research question? But in your fieldwork, it's double up, triple up. It's really, you really need to focus. Whereby because you have to do 2-3 things at one time. Data collection, data analysis, do reflection, and you need a lot of energy. You need to have a lot of concentration. But if you done that within that 3 months to 4 months and so forth, you just take 2 weeks to do your final chapter. That is my experience. I really contribute. I really devote my time during data collection, because before that I've been reading a lot of materials about data collection, data analysis, and beforehand I have reskilled myself in using software. Yeah, that time was new this. Yeah, you refer. Yes, Prof. Read. Okay, good. This is the student I like. Yeah. All right. So I prepared myself. Yeah. It was new this at that time. It was not NVivo. It was earlier versions of NVivo. So you have to really prepare yourself. Even when you does your research, Dr. Azwin right now, kalau you do data collection, make sure your RA tu ditrain kan. Ditrain untuk guna NVivo. I think our NRGS, I remember our team about 12 of us, kita dapat NRGS project 5 years of 5 million. So I was given two groups, group 2 dengan group 5, bawah Prof Dalan dengan Prof Rosli. I was given only the task on qualitative research, data collection, data analysis to supervise our enumerator. It was a good job, because ramai di kalangan kita punya RA tu lepas tu jadi kita punya student, contohnya Suriana, many more, ramai. Dan Ifa is here. Are you here, Ifa? Mana Ifa? Ifa, are you here? Ifa is one of our RA during our NRGS research. So kalau kita buat betul,
Yes, Prof.
okay, thank you Ifa. Bila kita menulis chapter akhir, I took only 2 weeks to write. Because what? Because you punya literature dah completely correct, completely done, then your research data dah dapat, you have already gotten your result and your report and interpretation. It's just like combining. Lepas tu saya heran kalau orang dah buat chapter 4, nak tunggu chapter 5, tunggu 3 bulan, 4 bulan, saya memang heran lah. Because my experience, doing the final chapter is just took me about 2 to 3 weeks. I expect that way to my student. Kalau kita buat betul, you able to write your reporting very fast. Okay,
Prof?
Yes.
Kalau boleh saya tanya, macam training untuk NVivo tu kan untuk first timer, bila sesuai tu? Sebelum ke lapangan ke?
Sebelum. There's a lot. Now I think it is very user friendly, makin user friendly. We actually brought Pat Beasley ke Malaysia when I was the president of Qualitative Research Association Malaysia. Even Sharon Marin pun saya bawa ke Malaysia. Masa tu saya sempat bawa Sharon Marin, the scholar ke UMK. Tak sempat bawa ke UM, tapi she was invited through QRAM. And Pat Beasley, even dalam MOOC saya, dalam Massive Online Open Course, saya punya course on to know qualitative research, memang ada satu section data analysis. Nanti mungkin saya share our MOOC yang to know qualitative. Memang saya ada buat interview dengan Pat Beasley, because dia ialah the developer of NVivo, dia dengan husband dia. But I learned earlier from Prof Noria, Prof Suria from UKM. They are my sifu too, because dia yang bawa masuk Malaysia dan memperkenalkan pada kami semua. Analysis and interpretation. Okay, done. So groundwork done. Tetapi benda ni juga kena berlaku semasa data collection, data analysis, data interpretation, and how do you differ your research by quantity and quality. Okay, right. Data analysis during collection is not left until the end. I have been mentioning over and over again. Avoid collecting data that are not important. Okay, always reflect. Sebab tu saya kata everyday kena buat short notes masa di ground, buat extended note, buat a reflection, and then buat memo. The data collected, as you collect data, you must ask, why do the participant act this way? What does this focus mean? What else do I have to know? What new idea have emerged? Is this a new information? Kalau data tu macam berulang-ulang, being coming up, and then it became a pattern. So accept it, because the beauty of data, qualitative data, is emerging data, because they tak berlaku dalam literature, but it happened in the ground. Kalau a good piece of qualitative report a good piece of reporting, actually it can be replicated. Kalau a good paper can be replicated, maknanya your methodology is very strong. Sebab tu saya kata yang tengah buat PhD and the young lecturer ni, make sure you really make sure you become expert in methodology, because if you are expert in methodology, whatever quanti atau quali, you will write your paper beautifully, beautifully. Right? Now you are going to be referred. Data analysis after collection, reading, memoing, and then look up the data and then do the description. Sebab tu saya suka bila saya buat observation or interview, saya suka tulis. I will do timeline. Some people just do buat listing, tick, 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 tick. But I love to write. I will write every single anything that be narrates, with the of course with the audio or video support, but I will do my writing. So with that writing, it will actually register in my mind. Dan bila saya balik, on the way back tu, atau bila saya dah cukup rehat, saya will listen to the tape and I will reflect, and then I will do my extended notes. That is very, very important, because at the same time actually you do the categorizing and you start doing analysis, because when you start to do analysis, you are starting to do your categorizing. Of course, dalam NVivo, dalam any Cakda, they will place for you categories and themes and for. Tapi kita yang buat. Okay, data analysis after collection, summarizing. The first time you sit down with your data is the only time you come to that particular set fresh. Kalau tahu, kata reading and memoing, describe, classifying. These are the process in data analysis. Read, write memos about field notes. I've explained earlier, dah saya simplify. Develop comprehensive descriptions of setting, of course. Jangan tunggu sampai bulan ketiga baru kata, saya nak tulis lah profiling saya punya, saya nak tulis demographic profiling for my participant. No. The day you come back, the day you came back from your fieldwork, start to write what you have observed. Maybe dalam you punya soal selidik ataupun you punya piece of paper that you need them to write their data, their profile, their details, not enough. Because when you are facing your participant, you're able to understand. Because dia akan bagi dia punya body gesture, facial expression and so forth. So you boleh tulis. In fact, dia punya, let's say you mengkaji dalam situasi ada setting. Setting tu natural setting. Of course, you have to go for natural setting. So contohnya, you nak mengkaji tentang kanak-kanak orang asli yang tak boleh menulis, tak boleh membaca. You dapat dia punya profile pada cikgu dia. Tetapi bila you go to the ground, you can really observe what is happening. Contoh, you nak akan cerita pelajar satu, umurnya gini, dia punya persiapan sekolah macam ni, dia punya kesediaan sekolah macam ni. Because you're able to see dia punya expression, you're able to see the gesture and so. So all these tidbits, all these tidbits has to be drawn in your writing. Jangan tunggu dah 3 bulan, aku dah lupa. No. You cannot do that. So start to do the narrative and so on. And then classify, breaking data into analytic units and categorize and themes. So kalau kita ada data collection, gunakan NVivo atau any calculators, this will help. Actually, they will speed up your categorizing data. Okay. Data analysis strategies, of course, you identify themes kita dapat daripada our categories from our protocol and our construct. And then coding qualitative data, this is part of it. Reduce data to manageable form, often done by writing notes or note cards. Kalau macam dalam NVivo, saya selalu gunakan anecdotes. Dia ada satu section bawah tu anecdotes. Kemudian, rather than that, how to make coding management, make photocopies. Kalau dulu saya buat mini photocopies lah. Kalau dulu kita siap potong-potong, cut tu susun. That was back in 1990s. I remember saya belajar dengan arwah Janabi Kasim. That was my first guru on kualitatif. Dia memang very particular person, memang sangat meticulous. Sebab tu I learned to be very meticulous person when I did my qualitative research, because I need to I have to organize everything in systematic way. And this is where I upskill myself to be a very systematic person. Okay, so photocopy, read through, cut and paste. Kalau dululah group cut and so forth. Tapi that's not happening now. Tapi kalau siapa nak buat, nak rasa boleh lah. But now we have the software to support us. Yeah. Kan nampak ada question tadi tu Any question here? Just look at the question here. Okay, Farihin kata, what if the data is in format of email exchanges series of, okay, it's also part of your study. Kan? It's also part of your study. Your data can come in many ways. Data daripada you punya survey, data mungkin data daripada observation, data semasa interview online, semua tu part of your data Farihin. Okay, next. Ada yang tak nampak saya punya kecil Okay, ada strategies. Ni something like I like to do. Okay, when you find your respondent doesn't want to disclose certain sensitive issues. Ini saya pernah lalui. I've experienced this bila saya do research kepada pelajar yang kena rape. A girl of 15 years old, dia dimabukkan and then kena rape. Jadi cikgu dia lah suruh saya bantu masa tu. So very difficult. So what I did was I learned from many of my sifu, gunakan selain pada gunakan art therapy, juga gunakan konsep map. Jadi kita tengok ada part-part yang very critical, kita gunakan vignette atau konsep map. Konstruk-konstruk yang kita gunakan tu bagi senarai dan suruh dia respond to it. Kadang-kadang untuk interview mungkin susah. Tadi Farihin, so kalau Farihin rasa masa that particular thing tak dapat idea, tidak dapat data yang cukup, post back kepada your respondent that you need some information, further clarification, bukan information, further clarification, and you're able to verify your data. I know you have come, and I put my PT to all those PhD students who are doing your fieldwork right now. It was a lot of constraint, but you will be very happy after you have graduated. After you graduate, you will be very, very satisfied. Alright, Prof. Okay, right. Thank you. Data interpretation. Some question that you need to pose. What is important in data? Why is it so important? What can we learn from it? So what? So these are some few things that you should bear in your mind that you need to answer and question anytime. Okay, boleh share slide. Okay, Samsul Arya, Samsul Arya. Kita memang setiap kali kita share our video and slide. You don't have to worry kalau you follow for our first series memang kami tak locate. Sebenarnya my TNC kata charge lah Suria. Sebenarnya you boleh charge kat dia orang ni. Tapi saya belum nak charge lagi lah Alright. Right, kemudian interpretation, Walcott. This memang kalau tadi data display, kalau data saturation saya suka Kirk and Miller, call and call. Kalau macam designing my case study saya suka Yin, Spedy. Tapi kalau interpretation saya suka baca Walcott. Buku dia sangat tebal, memang I baca page to page. Mungkin Dr. Prof Khadijah, kita were born in 60s ni, orang suka membaca buku kan Prof Khadijah? Are you still here Prof Khadijah? Prof Suzana? Yes. You love to read or not?
Sure. Buku.
Of course, no reading, no outcome, no output. Don't know what's going on. You need to read.
Kita tak ada internet kan, tahun 60-an. So I still remember my late dad is a guru besar. So he will tell us to read and read and read. Even standard 1 saya dah baca Straits Times tau. That was me. Straits Times tau, saya Straits Times tau, baca Straits Times. Bukan senang standard 1 dah baca. Meaning to say, okay, tapi Prof Khadijah dia punya English sangat bagus mungkin sekolah dia kot. Okay, I always adore my English teacher. I still remember Mrs. Naya. When she comes in the class, I really enjoy because suka dengar dia cakap orang putih. Masa tu kita kan orang kampung, orang Jawa, tak tahu nak cakap orang putih. Kita tahu cakap Jawa je kat rumah. Tapi dengar cikgu cakap orang putih tu, orang bestnya macam termenung, tengoklah. Betul tak Prof Khadijah? Prof Khadijah dia US grad ya, saya local grad je ya. Okay.
Kita orang kampung lah.
Yeah.
Kita orang
But we
kampung
love,
juga.
why we love to read? Because masa tu kita tak ada apa kan, tak ada apa. Kita tak ada apa. Kita hanya ada buku sekolah saja. Ya, tapi kalau mak bapak yang ada duit sikit dia akan beli surat khabar. Ya, library pun tak banyak. So we read from front page to and even kita ingat lagi siapa publisher. Saya masih ingat lagi publisher. So that's why we were born like that way. So buku Walcott ni saya rasa 450 pages. I think very thick. I bought it when I went to UCLA. Prof Khadijah, I went to UCLA University California of Los Angeles. I went to the library. I found a book. Yeah. So I really enjoyed this book, Walcott, Marsha and Roseman. These are the books that I really refer. Of course, Miriam and so forth. So I got the book and I really read. So it helps me into understanding how to do the interpretation. Because interpretation ni berlaku bukan masa lah habis tau. Interpretation tiap-tiap hari juga. So dia kata extend the analysis by raising question, connect finding, connect the dots dengan personal experiences, seek advice of critical friends. Okay, ni penting ya. Whereby you have to have critical friends. Ni selalu digunakan bila kita macam kita buat kajian Erasmus, Prof Raja, kita selalu duduk lepas tu kita buat beberapa series of discussion. Prof Khadijah kita buat beberapa, remember KETA? You lead the KETA thing? Prof Khadijah?
Ya.
KETA lagi apa? Kita punya research yang you lead tu banyak sangat. I ikut je.
EduCity.
Iskandar. Lagi?
And then I did some for KBS, but there was Belia.
Belia. And then KETA?
KETA on the green kan? Masa tu baru nak kenalkan green.
Lepas tu kita dapat the policy on the apa?
Yeah, on the OK, there was one on OK. I'm not so sure whether you involved, but I did on the.
No, that KETA first. Yang lepas kita nampak kat bus tulis tu yang apa ni? Dekat bus, all the buses kita tengok dekat around KL, kita nampak apa? Go for green kan? Remember?
Yeah, very early stage of green, introducing green technology.
Yes.
So the survey was done. To gauge the receptivity and also opinions of even school kids, yeah?
Yes, yeah. Yang kita pergi Sabah Sarawak tu sampai Miri tu apa?
Miri, that one is, sorry, not Miri, that was in Sibu.
Okay, sorry, Sibu.
Yes, Sibu.
Okay.
Sibu, I think with Fatimah, yes.
Yeah, a group of us, So, lepas ni belajar dengan Prof Khadijah. She has a lot of experience, really. Tremendous woman. Be her RA. You need RA now or not?
Sorry again?
You need RA now or not?
I have one RA at the moment. I need RA later. In fact, I have a few projects coming in, but I have to put on hold because of the COVID. You cannot do field work.
You see, you cannot talk to Prof Khadijah. You know, when we talk to her, she will end up with asking people to help her.
Yeah, of course. And you cannot do your field work now because of the COVID, right? You can only do FGD, which is really not good. You must have face-to-face interviews and interaction.
But itulah I kata is a very constrained time for those who are doing fieldwork right now. I have student yang tengah buat fieldwork, but always comfort her, tell her that things can be okay and so forth. I know those at this critical time banyakkan bersabar, berdoa, there's a lot of way to do out. Okay, interpretation, baca buku Walcott. Because from there you're able to connect back to your framework, whether your framework to materialize or not. And then of course critical friends are important. Kalau kita buat group research, we have friends ataupun kita panggil enumerator atau researcher that we come back. This is what happening with us, Prof Khadijah. Every time we sit at your office, your Impuma office, and then we will talk, we will argue, we will criticize. This is very important. Tapi kalau pelajar PhD macam mana Kalau pelajar PhD?
If I may add, your PhD candidates, because some of the PhD candidates are also lecturers, right? Some of them, right?
Yes, yeah.
And then I'm sure you have your circle of friends.
Yes.
And then you get the opinions of your colleagues. I just want to share with you, if you don't mind. When I was doing my PhD, we were then roped in as lecturers without PhDs. Nowadays, you must have a PhD, then only you can join university.
Yes.
When I went to university in 1990, I only had my master's degree. Then you left for the UK to do the PhD, right? When I did my fieldwork, I did my fieldwork in Japan. I did my fieldwork in Malaysia, and I got friends, including Professor Jomo, who was my colleague, to read up my some of my work,
Yes,
and you got senior academics. You got senior academics. I remember Professor Lee Popeng was my HOD, and then he was also a dear friend. I would put in his mailbox chapters of my draft chapters, So you must get senior members of the faculty, or I'm sure you can find them, and they can give you good input. Until one day, a friend of mine who's a senior professor told me, Khadijah, stop sending things for people to read and comment. You get confused. Okay.
You have a bunch of people there, right? I did that. I did that too.
Yeah, you did that. And then it's easy to be confused. That means you are thinking.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Prof. Khadijah, sharing your experience. Prof. Susanna, would you like to share your experience? Prof. Susanna pun banyak pengalaman. She did a lot of research too. Prof. Susanna is from UMK,
it would take a while of your time. I think I would appreciate your moment with the rest.
Okay.
Not much for me, I think.
Thank you, Prof. Okay. I know many of you, Azwin, kalau you are in the midst of doing your research, you need to have pool of friends that able to criticize, and then jangan kita macam feel bad when people criticize our work. You just accept it. This is where we learn to be negotiative. Of course, when our colleagues do criticize, do argue on our data, that is where we might slip from what we are thinking. But the way that being proposed to us is good. The Prof. Khadijah gotten from Prof. Jomo, Prof. Lipope, that was great. I was also having a good time when I did my PhD. I have senior lecturers like those Prof. Isa Harun, all these people, Prof. Amla, these are people who are really helped me a lot. Prof. Juria Long, Prof. Zara, and of course I have Elma at that time, Alma Haris, and
you're very fortunate.
I'm very fortunate, because I know how to mix around with those people like you lah. Like you also know how to link.
For those young researchers, especially doing PhD, I always say this, when you want to do your PhD research, you need a lot of hard work. Yes, perseverance is important, of course, and good luck. You must have lots of luck. Your luck, meaning that you are lucky. You must be fortunate. Some people are very fortunate because they have a good set of friends who can comment on their work. And they are lucky to get data, to get That's why luck is very important element in doing research. Okay.
Luck come from good way lah. I remember we did the FGD in Batu Pahat, only few of them won, then later on ramai datang kan.
Yes. I always say this. In fact, I had this discussion with Professor Zakaria Ahmad. He's a political scientist, a good friend. When I met all these names, there are some people who are already in their 70s. I'm giving you this example that when you do research, you mentioned the word goodwill. It's very important. Goodwill is very important. And then how many percent should be goodwill or good luck? I always say that it's more than 30%. You need that.
I like when you open your mouth lah, Khadijah.
Thank you so much. Now I cannot stop talking. Bye.
One day we must call Prof. Khadijah, share her experience. Itu memang authentic experience. I always laugh when I'm around her. We always laugh. We have good time. But sometimes it was hard time, Prof. Khadijah. But we're still friends.
If you may add, Dr. Suria, remember you sit at the whole day. We even spend one night Gelang Patah because we didn't have time. We sat at the restaurant there and open it like shop, right? And people on the spot.
And we can see Singapore. We can see Singapore by just one shot, right?
It was a very impromptu kind of research, in a way, getting information off the cuff. And again, sometimes you must really seize the moment and the opportunity. Sometimes it was not planned. Many times it's not really planned. So you must be able to seize the moment, seize the opportunity, and sometimes that really helps in your research. You get more information, right?
We sometimes it's still considered purposive sampling because they have similarity in your sample. So that will call like a snowball. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Because this is a big research. You have time. Kalau PhD time, you might have constraint on your time. Tapi kalau you do your research like Azwin and others, if you have time, we can consider kalau dia mempunyai kriteria yang kita dah rangkakan. Thank you, Prof. Khadijah. There's a lot. You must have one time for us lah, Raja.
Thank you.
InsyaAllah. Okay, Walcott says extend analysis by raising question ni sudah tadi, and at the end bukan turn to theory tetapi you able to come with your own new framework. Setiap kajian itu mesti berasaskan kepada theoretical framework. At the end you double check and match back, align back your theoretical framework whether something has been done correctly. Then you able to see there are some emerging. I think that's all. Tetapi Puan Hajar, kalau you tengok at the chat box tu, dia ada, kalau tengok kat chat box, worksheet ada worksheet. Are you all listening to me? Hello?
Yeah, Prof. Okay.
Kalau kita turun, I would like to conceptualize my ini memang saya memang sangat memerlukan ini CGT ini Eva lah, Eva dengan saya group construct task, kemudian sebelum kita ada CGD ini yang last week, group conceptualize, kemudian kita ini penting untuk bina construct, yang ini sangat penting bila macam Refa sekarang tengah first semester buat proposal. Saya memang minta dibaca, baca-baca, kemudian matrixkan apa yang dibaca. Ini memang kita akan bagi dulu kasut. Maknanya you akan plot in statement of problem dalam bacaan itu, kemudian research objective, research question, literature review, list, kemudian kita punya years, kemudian regroup. Yang ini kita jadikan dia punya construct, dan ini juga akan jadi kita punya categories nanti. Okay, yang saya nak share di sini. Okay. Sebenarnya yang tolong saya ni Eva dulu. So kita tengok sekarang kita berada di mana. Okay, kita sudah berada dalam second part iaitu data collection. Kita come up with a pattern and then we able to design our new model from our research. Itu yang saya nak share. So this one will be given to everyone here. Hello? Raihan? You have any question, Rehan? Hello?
Tak lagi Prof, setakat ni clear.
Okay, good. Cuma dua-dua ni memang kita akan share semua. Ada worksheet, and then saya cantumkan juga dengan apa tu yang statement of problem, which is very good for Mariam. Apa benda baca yang saya, I know I like to share something yang simple orang faham, especially yang researcher lah, ya. Okay, before I end up, it's already 11:10. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your passionate in doing qualitative research. If you have any question, one or two, I would like to you would like to raise, I will give my feedback. Any question? Ada tak? Tak ada.
Prof, maaf, tak ada soalan Prof. Cuma yang saya ada confused sikit about the interview. How to...
Siapa ni? Raihan
Saya Raihan ni.
Okay, Raihan.
Prof, just nak tanya Prof, kalau interview sessions kan, dia ada call and everything kan. Jadi nak tanya Prof, kalau contoh macam yang bukan on that qualitative part, okay, yang memang tak expert on qualitative, baru nak belajar like us kan. So macam mana how they want to conduct the interview session Prof? Maksudnya so dia macam kadang-kadang bila saya tanya, contohlah saya compare diri saya dengan yang buat kualitatif kan. Okay, saya satu case study, contoh kita nak tanya berkaitan dengan usahawan. Okay, kita nak interview dia. Macam mana kita nak capture that theme or issue, and then macam mana kita kata apa, kita nak interview tu supaya smooth dan kita dapat semua information.
Maknanya you rasa you novice lah, kan? Novice researcher. Okay, no problem. I came to that stage before. Firstly, study well. You have to really digest your research. You know in and out of your research. And then when you want to go to the ground, make sure jangan baca note depan your respondent. Makcik-makcik saya nak tanya, makcik-makcik saya, no. Make it very cordial, santai, so that seolah-olah you are actually bersembang dengan dia, because when you being very rigid, looking at your notes all the time, you actually not focusing, because you akan hilang the data of your respondent gesture, because gesture tu yang penting. Facial expression, mimic and everything is very important. And of course orang kita ni, dia orang our society lah, our culture, we of course in terms of building a rapport, rapport, rapport ni, you need to have eye contact, and that is very important, because if you have digested what you wanted to address, you wanted to know more, it has to be already inside, Rahani. I know you people are smart people, you are brilliant people. So when you go to the ground, especially meeting people of mass society, which maybe bukan dalam kelompok kita ialah orang yang duduk dalam higher education, kita duduk dalam satu fraternity kita sendiri. Tapi bila you pergi ground, pergi jumpa makcik yang micro, semi, bukan SME lagi, tapi yang micro level, now even macro, beta level, whatever. So you must tend to learn their culture. Contohnya saya duduk Kelantan, saya nak buat kajian dalam kalangan orang kampung. So I cannot bring the outfit that I'm using masa saya bekerja. So I have to be like, bukan jadi orang kampung, tapi I have to be like, I'm immersing myself dalam kelompok tersebut. That is very careful. That is something that you need to learn the culture jugalah when you do your research. Contohnya Prof Khadijah, kita buat di mana Betul Pahat yang kita buat FGD di kalangan politician, ahli majlis daerah and many more. So there are people who firstly dia buat macam provoke kita kan, remember? They tend to like argue with us, tapi kita sebelum start pun dah start ada something happen. I was there. we have to be very cool, belajar untuk calm. Bila we met people yang tengah very aggressive, very defensive, macam you pergi Pengarah, I didn't go to Pengarah. We went, people are so tantrum, so jangan carry away with people behavior. That's where you have to learn a lot, reskill yourself. Sebab tu saya selalu nasihat, hari tu pun saya dah kata, when you do your interview, pergi belajar sekejap dengan counselor tu, reskill yourself with the counselling skills, bukan pergi belajar counselling, the skill that the counselor says. Sebab tu counselor kenapa dia boleh duduk berjam-jam dengar dia punya patient, dia punya klien. Why? Because they have that passionate and juga dia sabar dan dia juga, itu kerja dia. Kadang-kadang kita rasa alamanya counselling, tapi they have that skills of negotiating, they have skill of being very calm, very passionate and so forth. Okay, good question. Raihan can come over to my office insyaAllah kemudian nanti. Those who are in UMK, you still have time. Okay. I received a lot of emails after our series. Some I dapat jawab segera, tapi kalau soalan panjang-panjang tu I have to take some time to reply. But it's good that rupanya ramai Prof Khadijah dalam kalangan kita punya partisipan ni yang memang they are still hunger of knowledge of qualitative research.
Maybe Prof Suria, I've been wanting to go to UMK. I've never been to UMK. Once the border is open,
Sure.
Kelantan, Selangor, okay, I don't mind, maybe spend half a day there and like open door, because I just
walk in.
Yeah, walk in because from my own experience, for my PhD research, I had to interview the elites,
You buat kat SOAS kan? London?
Yeah, I had to interview elites in Japan as well. Japan,
Wow.
I had to meet a few people, 30 people. I interviewed about 25 people in Japan.
Oh.
And then about Malaysia, including Rafida Aziz, who was minister then, and Tun Daim. And they were actually, can you imagine, you interview them and you must do your homework, of course, and
Yes.
you must be prepared because their personality is very important. And because of that, they remain my friends now,
Dia kawan baik Rafida Aziz, Tan Sri, and kawan baik Daim Zainuddin, even kawan baik Tun Mahathir.
So they just open doors, I'm just sharing with you my PhD research is different, And then when I do other research, I have to meet people from all walks of life. Daripada orang yang bawah sampai ke atas. So you must understand when you go there, you must be prepared, and then you cannot be like you have to be very careful, be mindful of our behavior. Yes. That's I have to tell you.
Yeah, betul. I agree. I totally agree with you. Absolutely. One thing, you need to know your background, the background of your client or your participants. Jangan datang dengan kosong, especially kalau you go and you wanted to research high profile people. Even not high profile, but at least there are some parts in your mind that you have to respect. Bukan sebenarnya kita nak dapatkan data daripada diorang sebenarnya, but it's worth if you do a lot of homework, prepare, do not come blindly, do not come with zero knowledge and so forth. Okay. Alright, time has passed so fast. I have another kind of petang ni. Kalau those from higher education, please welcome to our roadshow on MQF Mission Qualification Framework 2.0. I was the chief author, so join us at 2. It was a very important for our program, academic programs and our curricular review. Those who wish, because semalam saya dengar dah 1,245 orang yang dah register untuk petang ni. Okay. Prof Khadijah itulah live-nya share and share. Okay. Well, do you all wish to have a photo session or not? Hajar, are you there? Hajar ni saya punya pipi ke Prof Khadijah?
Ya, Prof.
Nah, kita buka lah gambar. Boleh? Hello? Okay.
Okay.
Ja, ready dah, Ja? Okay, thank you to everyone. We'll see you next on the topic of credentiality and trustworthiness of qualitative data. With that, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and take care everyone. See you back in another 2 weeks, because next week kita ada kursus asas PMP. There will be a lot of work for us here, and we'll meet you again in another 2 weeks. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum.
Salam Prof.
Salam. Thank you, Prof.
Salam, Prof.
Take care everyone.
Thank you semua.
Bye. Take care everyone.